Hello everybody, we are back once again. We'll wait for chat to load up while I drop a link in the Discord group. Best put it in the right one. And there we go. So, apologies, I am a little later than expected online. Hello, George. You are indeed the first, my friend. Now let me just bob that on. You wanted me to check if I can't really do it on that board. Well, removing the heatsink. So I have a board here which I can't check on the TPS 51916, but I can check for shorts or for when you say shorts, I'm assuming you mean continuity mode, 1 pin ground on these. Yeah, that one's ground. Gate shouldn't be. And that one there's ground. Stream elements, the bot, mate. Let me flip over to the microscope. Draw that into focus a little bit. So on this one with a slight ground there, mate. No ground on that one. Gate shouldn't be ground anyway on either. This one is ground as it's joined onto the back end of this cap, and this one here on mine is picking ground up as well, mate. No, I've not fixed it yet, Wayne. Not yet, mate. This is a different one though. I haven't had another look, if I'm entirely honest. Q9F1. Yeah, which is that one there, mate. Q9F1. No ground on this side. This side shouldn't be connected to ground, mate. No ground on this because it's the gate. And this side on mine is picking a ground up, but it's showing 40 ohms. So not actually quite ground, mate, but low impedance. Yo, RB King. Welcome, mate. What you playing at, man? Well, to be fair, mate, I thought I'd save it for when we were all here. Them, those fets, George, that I've just tested for you, mate. I do believe that they're related to, not related, but they're on the line for the TPS 51916, mate, which is the RAM management IC. So, what I want to quickly look at on this is, because I didn't check yesterday, I want to quickly make sure that my retimer's slightly off. Ever so slightly. On that one side. And where we are on this one side. Almost no solder on there, but it's straight on that side. I might need to add a little bit of solder. Straight on that side, which must mean that this edge is going to be off. No, straight on that side, but again, not enough solder around them for me. So how is it that that side's slightly off? Let's dive in for a quick reflow on that. Hi Jessica. Watermelons. Let's change that out. This is the one from last night, mate. No display. Just checked. I should have checked last night, but I didn't. Just checked to see if my TPS, my retimer was in line. And it appears it wasn't. Not well. It wasn't. It wasn't. So we shall. That still looks ever so slightly off. But I haven't put the cap back on yet, no, mate. If you're referring to that cap there. Not just yet, mate. No voltage. Yep, no voltage on pin 18, which should have 5 volts to it. Power supply. And let's quickly test. I need one of them. Jam that in there. That's down, that's in. Helps if I plug. And we've got power, so we should have 5 volts on that pin there. No, we've got us 5 volts on that pin. And we've got us 3.3 on that. That line there is for the enable. Which I'm sure should be low. With 2.5 volts on hot plug detect. So I'm assuming that's working, so there's just this. Not receiving 5 volts. Not receiving 5 volts. And it's powered off because there's no hard drive connected. Uh, cut power. It's just a bit of crap. So, I'm not sure if I jump a wire from here to here, that would give us 5 volts on this, which would give us 5 volts on pin 18. Not sure if it'd do any damage, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna take a little bit of wire, move that out of the way. Let's find out. Let's see if bypassing for the 5 volts at that point there, while the ESD IC is installed, once I've untangled my cables, let's just see if it causes any damage running a wire from there. A little bit of fresh solder there, a bit there. That'll ding dang do for now. Yo, Danny, Kaz. Hello. Tweezers, let's just come in and move that back slightly away from that. let's take a look. Let's see what happens when we now apply power to that. Let's see if anything goes with a bang. I shall just move anything that might risk a short out of the way. We'll hook up the hard drive. I'll bob in my HDMI so that I can safely test for voltage on pin 18. And let's see if anything goes pop. So we still have power. Do we have voltage on pin 18? Yes, we have voltage on pin 18. So, briefly kill power. We'll switch that to that. I'll stick my glasses back on and we'll put in. We'll remove that. We'll put in the HDMI. Cable. I'll just grab TV remote. Let's see if we get any. Hey, Mr. Coder, welcome, mate. Fixing things. Let's see. Turn the plug back on. Do we get a display? Doesn't look like it. So still no display with 5 volts at pin 18. Still nothing. I've just bent my. We know we've got power to hard drive. Is it possible to be down to the hard drive? Let me see what's on this other. Oh, let me see if this other hard drive's working. That HDD is not working. Whoa, hang on. Xbox One detected. Xbox One detected. So all we've done is just left it running. TV's picked it up as an Xbox One. But there still appears to be a black screen. What's all that about? Why has it just why has the TV just picked it up as an Xbox One? I don't think it's going to be internal damage on the port, Phil, because there were no 18 volt. No 18 volt. No, there were no 5 volt at pin 18, mate. That's what I'm just thinking now. The problem is I don't think I've got another hard drive, mate. I used the last two that I had in both the Xboxes I fixed yesterday. Ah. But why did it take that long for my TV to connect it to detect it? I mean, it could be a bad hard drive, but I wouldn't have thought the hard drive would have anything to do with it not getting 5 volts to pin 18. It's very strange. I could wipe the hard drive, or we could at least take a look at the hard drive. Yeah, the hard drive runs off 5 volts, but I wouldn't have thought that's. Do you reckon that's where the hard drive at the HDMI port gets its 5 volts at pin 18 from? I wouldn't have thought so. 5 volts has to be to pin 18, has to be supplied through the ESD IC. It's got 5 volts that comes in. 5 volts should go out on the next cap along from it. The hard drive could have been pulling the 5 volt line down. Maybe, mate. Although the hard drive has got power to it and did have power to it. Five volt goes through the... No, it's not generated by it, but 5 volts to pin 18. So, I didn't mean it was generated by it, mate. So 5 volts comes in, kill power. 5 volts comes in on this line here. So this is a 5 volt input into the ESD, and then the 5 volt from this line comes back out here. So we wasn't getting 5 volts here. I'd whip it out. What, the hard drive, mate? Throw in a known working hard drive from one that we repaired yesterday. Let's bob that to one side then. Let's take the worst one from what I repaired yesterday, the one that had the new HDMI port. If you get the image, you'll know the HDD is the fault. Yes. Let's do it. And I suppose if we get a stream, if we get an image, I suppose that means that I'll have to kill the stream. On mute for a couple of minutes. Mute is off. Interesting that, Phil. I wasn't aware of that, mate. Throw them to the air. Come on, let it go. Throw that over there. throw that over there. Pull that out and pull that out. Oh, there's my meter lead's gone again. No good hard drive. HDMI. Power to the system. What we're saying, yeah or nay? Let's go for it anyway. I do hope that hard drive's not bad. Xbox One detected quicker. And we have image. I generally did have and did use like a known good hard drive, mate, but you know how things go. We buy things, bad hard drives in, don't have one to hand, so we throw in one that we know works and then get shut. There was still the issue, I believe there was still the issue of the 5 volts not getting to pin 18, possibly due to that ESDIC that I reflowed into place yesterday. But unbypass that ESD. Yeah. Why not? Kill power. It could have been the hard drive that were pulling it down. Let's see. That one there. Jot a bit of that down. Just for tests. Yep. Why not, mate? Hey, if we don't do it, who is gonna do it? So that's that off. I'll leave the cap off for now, and we'll which one? What it? Not that one. No good hard drive. Do you want it back on TV, or do you want me to just test and say we'll put it back on TV? We'll leave that that cap off for now. So that and that. Plug that into there. Plug. I hope this don't work, mate. I hope I have to put that bit of wire back on. Because if not, that means that I could have tested an hard drive yesterday on stream and that would have been that. So if this works, Mr. Juggler, I'm going to blame it on you, mate. I do not believe it. So, that apparently means that the hard drive indeed did pull that line down. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. So we now have 5 volts to that. Nice one. Nice one, Mr. Coder. Nice one indeed, mate. I would not have put that line being pulled down to hard drive though. I wouldn't have seen the hard drive going directly through onto that particular line that goes to pin 18. If that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't make you right. I'm claiming that one as a no-win. No, you can't claim that one, Wayne. You told me yesterday after I ended that stream, you were putting it down to a dodgy retimer. I didn't necessarily change to what I thought was a working HDD yesterday, mate. I've just done that now. The HDD that I've been attempting to use was the one that came with supplied in this hard drive console. Retimer was shit, but you've changed. I'm not putting the retimer back on just to see. No. No. Not a chance. So yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Phil. I will give you that, mate. Although well, yeah, kind of. I will give you that, mate. The HDD did have power though. So that must imply that we've, or that the chuffing solder mask all over me. That'd imply that the hard drive would put power back into the board, would it not? See, I know from experience that should this component here I know from experience that should that component there be no good, that also kills the image. Let me... Right, I see something about reballing. Let me catch up on chat. Go and do it. No. And the ESD, reball it. No. I don't need to reball no ESD. I have them in stock. Indeed, because that's a 5-volt regulator, Chris. Yeah. Maybe, mate. I do actually see your point. Let's just... I see your point. Let's see what... let's see what the PC makes of this hard drive. I think you have got to have something else hidden to fix, Chris. Not really, mate. I'm all out. Yo, Mr. B. See if you see those little transistors. Just a heads up, they are generally 5-volt or 3.3 volt regulators. Yeah, I kind of figured that, mate, but I wouldn't have thought. So, me point I'm making. Right. Point I'm making is that this powers on. If I just quickly plug that into there, and it's running. I can feel the hard drive running. You could fix the chip. I can feel that hard drive running. So let's load up. Yeah, I get how you was thinking. And it does make sense that the lines should be isolated, even both being 5 volts. But no, I want meaning that the 5 volt by the ESD should be isolated. What I was meaning was, surely if there's a fault on the hard drive, then in theory, if it's a fault on the hard drive voltage lines, then in theory the hard drive shouldn't run at all. Is that the one you put mic'd and it was ticking? No, mate. That was the second fix for me yesterday. The first one on the stream that were ticking. But let's switch to desktop, and we'll see. We'll see if this is detected in the PC. And we're going to get a very nice lengthy weight, length, yeah, weight now for it to detect. So with that in mind, I'm going to stop, because any decent hard drive shouldn't take that long to detect. It depends if you have a short on the HDD or it's working too hard to try and run. It'll consume more current. Yeah, that's a fair point, mate. That is a fair point. No, that's why I unplugged it. Yeah, so yeah. What can we say? Yes, what can we say? On the plus side, I get an hard drive, I load OSU back on, hook it all up, and that's 3 of 3, so three of three. But I am seeing what you're saying there, Phil. And yeah, if I'm gonna say you're not. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you that you know it all. And I fully understand what you're saying with the amp or the current being drawn by the hard drive. Yep, I agree, mate. It is possible. Yeah, 3 out of 3. We're a win. Selling one of these 1 terabyte consoles with a controller and cables for 175 quid. 175 quid? You've just made me stab myself with my tweezers. Twat. 175 quid? Mate, I won't be able to sell them up here for that price. Not even a chance. Not a dicky bird. Would I be able to get 175 quid? I don't, yeah, I don't think there's, let's face it, I don't think there's any know-it-alls where these are concerned out there. I don't. I'm sure if there was, I'm sure there would be YouTube video after video after video after video after video out there explaining exactly what to do if such and such oh, I've lost my words again. If such and such problem persists, so I don't think it's, that. Possibly not, Philip. Possibly not, mate. Because the hard drive is powering on. So it's more of a, it's more of a current draw. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because we're sense in, if somebody's got the knowledge. So let's say for instance, if somebody gets one of these consoles in, let's say they fix 99 out of 100 consoles, and they're all a different fault, and they don't approach that fault as a stroke of luck. For instance, they've got a few power on, power offs, all voltages are present. Where do we begin? We'll remove that chip, see if it changes. No, put it back on. Remove that chip, see if it changes. No, put it back on. If they're not doing that and they're working out the fault logically, why not share it? Why not? They could be miles away from anybody else. You know, I don't see what value them keeping it to themselves would achieve. What kind of value would that have? But no, Philip, the hard drive is powering on, mate. I'm assuming what's possibly what it means is it means that the motor is maybe having to work a little harder than it usually would. Therefore, it's attempting to draw more current, or it's requiring to draw more current, which is in turn bringing power down elsewhere. Yeah, that's what I mean. Though it's surely, I mean, it's not. It doesn't take a genius to work out. There's no misconception. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, there's gonna be better technicians out there. I mean, it could be that I've got a console there that I'm struggling with. I could send it to you. You could fix it in 5 minutes. I could have the same console I'm struggling with. I could send it to somebody else that's a YouTuber that's known very much so for fixing stuff, and it might take him or 30 minutes to figure it out and fix. But the point is that you could be, well, obviously you're down in Wolverhampton, and another one could be up Scotland. There's no, for me, there's no value in a technician in Scotland that isn't necessarily going to get business from anywhere down south, or Wolverhampton, or in my local area, sending jobs out all the way up there. And yes, I agree. I have to agree. Yes. Yes, not everybody is the same, but yes, people are spiteful. Yes. I agree. And I will say that it's quite possible this is the reason we no longer get schematics. People are spiteful. Why should manufacturers allow small independent technicians to make a living from fixing their products when they can simply state that your product isn't repairable and attempt to push on a new device? And that's the only reason it could possibly be. I'll help anybody. I mean, I did with Wayne. Wayne was learning. He pulled a retimer off. He pulled some tracers off. I got him to send it to me. I replaced the tracers, put a retimer on, and that's when I found the fault of the component just here, which was the main fault to why the display wasn't running. But I didn't charge him for it. I did it, sent him it back, fully working. And a lot of times it's, you know, I'm not necessarily saying that I do. I'm not necessarily saying that I do a lot of jobs for free, which we don't, and quite frankly, we wouldn't have the equipment we have if we did do jobs for free or did jobs for nothing all the time. But in some cases, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with helping somebody else out. There's nothing wrong with showing a little bit of what's the word? Yeah, no, I'm not going to think of that word. But there's nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, it powered off because I killed power to it, mate. Yeah. Yeah. I agree, Phil. I agree. Wayne, no, only 7, yeah. Only 7 tracers, mate, yes. Only 7. But where would we be if we didn't help people? Where, you know, the world would just, that'd be it anyway, it'd be done, dusted. If there were no, you know, I mean, how many people now, and I have to say, because I very, very rarely see it, but when I were younger, you know, you'd see some bloke stop a woman on the street and smack her. You'd see 3 or 4 other blokes getting involved and essentially stopping it from happening. But you don't see it anymore. There's none of that. anymore. There's a scrap on the street and everybody crosses road. That's just how it is. You know, but yeah, we do what we do, and if we change who we are, we become somebody different, and we then have to live with the decision as to whether we like that somebody different or not. And I'm not about to change what I do. So yeah, if I can help somebody out, I'll help somebody out. Phil, I would imagine he'll do the same. One of the reasons, I do have to say that one of the reasons I subscribed to the Coder was because I saw quite a lot of similarities in Phil to myself, just on such as pass and this you know, the same for Wayne. There's a lot of similarities I see in Wayne that I myself had, and possibly still do. And I just think it's, you know, it's just nice to be able to offer somebody an olive branch, or somebody a little bit of help. It's just a little bit of courtesy, you know, for a fellow man. No, Danny, I don't know. It might have, the Coder may have fell off his chair when he got caught with his video camera hanging out. But I don't know. He may have done. He may not. Now, there's only me brave enough to fall off my chair. Only me. Brave enough or stupid enough. One or the other. So there's not really much else I can do with this now until I get an hard drive. 3 out of 3. I guess don't matter if it takes us 3 weeks to fix. With 3 out of 3, which ain't bad. £95 in total. I would imagine, well, price will be roughly around 100 each, depending on if I grab any controllers or not to put with them. So yeah, I mean, I'll give you a hard drive, Chris, and a 3.5 inch floppy. 3.5. Yeah, mate, my computer don't even, didn't even a disk drive on it anymore. There's no disk drives on them. Who even needs them? But yeah, 3.5 inch floppies. I quite remember them 3.5 inch floppies. Was these the 3 that was listed on eBay? No, mate. These I bought from Facebook, mate. This one here was 24 mile away. I bought it as a power on, power off. Yeah. Power on, power off. Turns out when I plugged it in yesterday, we had no power. Stripped it down, stripped the board out. Still had no power, if I remember. Put on a front panel, just in case, and it powered on. But then I also tested the other power panel that came off, and it still powered on. but had no display, and I didn't see the 5 volts on pin 18. So that was the route we went down. Changed the retimer, changed the ESD IC, still nothing, and then you'll come along, burst everybody's bubbles. But thank you. I would have never suspected the hard drive pulling down the 5 volt line when it was powering on. I would not have done it. Yes. But I think I did test it. I think I did unplug the... I would have to watch the stream back. But I'm almost certain I did unplug the hard drive. And then I'm sure I attempted to power it on. And there was still no power. You want to behave, mate. You want to behave. If that head gets any bigger, you'll not fit through your shed door. Oh dear. So, what can we say? What can we say? I'm not. I have to. No, I'm not listing mine on eBay, mate. I'm not selling on eBay. Not a chance. I've currently got my old car listed on eBay, and I've not listed it for much. It's got some faults. It's an 09 plate Volvo. Few various faults, so it was listed at £700 on a bite now. Somebody comes along and hits that button. £700 bite now. So he arranged to come today. The day after he hit that button, I'd already given out my address, and the day after eBay removed the listing because the buyer no longer had a eBay account. So I then relisted it back on eBay. Someone dropped an offer on it of £650. I think it was yesterday morning. May have been Friday morning. I accepted the offer. Again, he will come in to collect it today. And then he sent me a message after me sitting about waiting for him coming around dinner time. Wasted a few hours. Sent him a message. Yeah, just waiting for my lift. Blah, 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 blah. He then sent me a message around 4:30, 4:15, and said, any chance I can cancel? Insurance is going to be too costly. And you know, I'm fair, you know. I don't mind cancelling, but it wasted my afternoon, and not only did it waste my afternoon, but the car registration number isn't hidden. So why not do insurance quotes before you even throw a bid on something? Let's see. I found my head is already massive. Oh dear. I found normally with bad HDD consoles turn off after around 30 seconds, but this one didn't. No, it didn't, mate, because as far as the hard drive is concerned, the hard drive is running. So there must be something causing the hard drive not to detect, which in turn could be what's causing a higher current draw, or believe it or not, that could be what's causing the 5-volt pull down on the fact that it's not detecting. I don't know anything about hard drives. I may look at it one day, but I'm pretty sure I would need to have a known good matching hard drive to be able to diagnose the process of elimination, testing from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. Actually, I have an idea. If you want to sell this, Chris, sell what, mate? You mean the console? I had someone message earlier. She wants a beep on beep off fixing, but she might be interested in a console only part X. Hers is beep on beep off, and she might be paying me £100. Are you having a bubble? £100 console only. Console only, £100 part exchange. Mate, you want to make your way up this area, up this end of the UK? Nah. If I traded this against somebody else's faulty, it'd be more like £60 on their console. Up this end. If somebody messaged me and I said £100 in their console, nah, they'd just laugh, mate. We're all tight asses up here. West Yorkshire is probably one of the worst for tight asses that don't like paying for stuff. I don't know. We'll discuss it, mate. We'll discuss it. I believe one of these is already sold, so one of these, a guy I generally do repairs for from Pontefract. I believe his sister wants one. So one of these, I'm striking a deal up with him. But that's about it. That's what can I say? I'm not, yeah, I mean, it's not bad going, mate, and it's not, it's. I just think it's areas. I honestly think it depends on the area, and that's why selling on eBay is slightly it's slightly better. I was thinking of a different word, but my head's gone. Because you're selling worldwide, or you're selling UK wide, so it's not necessarily stuck to one area. But I've experienced eBay selling previously, and the amount of people that will try and get a refund over anything possible. It's unbelievable, and I don't have time for messes. I don't have time for people that want to bid, buy, return, cancel. I do not have the patience for that sort of thing. So now I shall stick to my Facebook for now. Yeah, I mean, I generally I do. Generally I have a UV marker. Quite a few of these. I usually mark the boards, each removable or easy changeable component, and then if something were repaired on the board, I'll usually mark it on the tin sheet that goes on the top. I use these areas here for marking things down, what might have been repaired. That way, if the console comes back, I can get my UV light out and check it, and I can do things as well as keeping a record on the PC. But yeah, eBay fees. eBay fees are outrageous, and that was one of the things with me advertising that car. I read it wrong, completely wrong. I read final value fee of 12.8% on my car, and I thought, yeah, so I'm going to sell my car for 700 quid, and I'm going to lose £100 to eBay. Luckily, I read it wrong. They do have fixed prices when selling items like that. Gumtree, yes, I generally sell on Gumtree. I do. When I advertise consoles, I generally advertise on Gumtree, Facebook, Spock. And I just pretty much sit and wait. Yeah, I'm not sure that'd work, but it's it's not a bad idea. But how many of you guys have considered starting your own groups on Facebook, selling groups just so that you can get first dibs on somebody listing a faulty console or a faulty electronic item? Having it locked down, making sure all listings have to be approved by admin, and then not listing somebody when they put it on and saying, "Oh, I'll buy it." Yeah, I've never really had any interest in Spock. I still list bits and pieces, but I don't. It's not. They don't often get any response from Spock. Yeah, too much headache. Yeah, I have a private group. My private group's pretty quiet, but that's for something else, something completely irrelevant to electronic repairs, console repairs. So that is not up for discussion, and it will likely land me in a little bit of bother if I do. So no discussion on that. So this one, again, it's fixed, it's working. Just need another hard drive. Chair fallers anonymous, Chris. I'm fully aware that I am never ever gonna live that down. And let's face it, you have to admit that was done in style. Who would have thought the first words would be what a teacher would say to you when you fell off one at school? And it's been what? An easy 25 years since I was at school. Keep all the legs on the floor. That's what they're there for. Yes, thanks George for joining. We'll go over the RAM management IC one of the days, unless Phil wants to cover that on his stream. Pin 6 RAM management. Do we get around 1.8 volts, or is it constant off? Thanks for coming, George. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one, mate. But let's did I have it loaded up? No, I didn't have it loaded up, and my computer ain't gonna want to load it while I'm streaming. What's that, mate? Fill me in. So, RAM management IC TPS 51916. Pin. Let me just. Pin 12 is. So this is a donor board. We've got pin 12. Right, yeah. So it's on, and then I see. So it don't. It's not necessary then, Phil. I thought we should have, because we've got 5 volts in on pin 12. Pin 6 is VREF, which is 1.8 volts, but it's not 1.8 volt on standby, it's 1.8 volt on switch on. So yeah. It was just something I've not tested, mate. I've never really poked and prodded around the area on a working board. And George messaged me earlier, because I mentioned it yesterday with the second console repair. There was a corrosion on pin 12, pad 12, eaten away, so we trace repaired that. But I did mention that 12 was 5 volt in, 6 was VREF, which was 1.8 volts. George wasn't sure whether it was as it were powered on or in standby, and it was just something I remembered from reading the data sheet on it. But I re-looked at the data sheet, and the data sheet shows an off position of 1.8, but obviously it's not in standby. It's only when the console's turned on. So I'm assuming that won't, if George has got his 1.8 volt when he's powered it up and he's got all the other voltages around that chip, then that pulling that won't solve his power on, power off. Ah, well, the fan spins once every 8 seconds. That's what the board were doing to me yesterday. The fan was spinning every so often, and that's when we came across the broken trace on pin 12. But these two FETs here, they are, I believe, for the RAM management IC. They may be for other places, but as far as I'm aware, one of them does supply voltage to the RAM management. How would you test the RAM? You could really only test on the caps. Large caps around. There will beep more than likely as a short, but they could possibly be low impedance. Keep a track of the ohm reading. Failing that, it'd be running the console or the RAM, I'm assuming. You may be able to put in voltage on the VRAM test point. Would it be the MEM test point, which is this one just here? You may be able to put 1 volt into that to see if any of the RAM chips are short. Don't hold me to that though. That might not show you. Yeah, I think it'd be around. Let's see. I think it's around 25, 30. We've got, would it be that way around? $34.4 mine showing. But this is also a faulty board, so there's not necessarily saying that that's what the reading should be, because this board is working, and it's that old I can't remember fault on it. I think I've got 4 boards that I can't remember faults on, or what faults were. So yours stops. Mine, I don't think mine was stopping. I think mine were just continuously spinning every so often. Is there a way to test battery on laptop to see what's bad? You mean to see what's bad on a battery, or what's 9 times out of 10 it'll be battery if the battery's not running correctly. They do have, a lot of them do have some sort of built-in protection board. A multimeter, I have a Infrared YF90 EPC. If I can load up my Amazon, I shall switch to desktop. And it's asking me for my password. Why have you got to ask me for my password? No, don't add a mobile number now. Is it gonna? Let's change that to, let's change it to 2021. And let's see if we can find it. This is a relatively new meter that I bought. How long have I had it? There we are. So I'll load that on and then I shall switch to desktop view. The meter that I've got, it's a relatively new meter. I do have another one, but obviously with me starting the YouTube channel, figured best option was to get one that would display on OBS. And the previous one was required a Bluetooth adapter for connectivity to the PC software. So I could use the other one connected to my phone and it would show me the readout on my phone, but it wouldn't, I couldn't get it to display just using any standard Bluetooth adapter on the PC. But my old one was this one here. So I bought this when will it be? Probably late 2019. I mean, this one's still got it's a bit dusty. Sap. This one's still got the lens cover on, but I bought that, and again I can get it to display on my mobile using an app. But couldn't get it to connect to the PC without risking buying an adapter, because it's a rebrand multimeter. There was an adapter available for the original brand, on Amazon, which I think were about 12 quid or something. But I just thought to myself, rather than risking it not working, I'll buy a new meter. What we got. Is that connected to bench power supply? Is what connected to bench power supply, mate? Yeah, I mean, them multis, the multimeters reasonably priced, to be fair, and there is where have I just dropped that? There is one curious thing with this, that if I'm in continuity mode and I go from ground to here, we get a nice crisp bleep. Ah, I see, George. Now, if I go here, the audio that comes from the meter is not as clear, it's not as stable, but that's low impedance, so we're seeing a reading of 38 ohms ish. So I think the lower the impedance, it's not lower, higher the reading from direct to ground, the meter makes us aware of this due to the tone audio, which isn't a bad feature, I wouldn't say. But that's about it for the stream. Don't think I can do much else. I've nothing else really to look at to repair. I have, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it on stream. I have this. This was dug out of a skip, a bin, by one of my friends, and it's got a faulty trigger, so sometimes you'll switch it on and it'll just lock itself up, and it'll just stay on until you bash it and prod it and bang it. I would not be fucking with those things to repair. Why not, mate? Why not? There's nothing wrong with that. See, it's only got a dicky trigger. I'll change trigger out. Most of my tools, most of my power tools that I have are all Ryobi 1 Plus. So I'll sort switch out on that and it'll go into my little stash of tools. I've got chainsaws, I've got all sorts different tools that I probably will never use, and they're just, no, I'm not gonna make, I'm not be making a video on it. That's just going to be one that's going to be added to my collection. When I get round to it though, Mr. Coder, while we are on the subject of making a video, making a stream, I am still yet that quick answer to that, Mr. Bryden. Ryobi aren't too bad. However, they are DIY tools. They are not made to be repaired. Majority of the brushed motors on Ryobi, it's impossible to change the brushes. They are moulded in. But yes, while we are on the subject, Mr. Coder, I am still yet, and you'll be surprised at it, I know, because we know you had every faith in me setting that system up, but no. I'm still yet to set up my reflow machine, mate. So, I'm thinking at some point I may run it on a stream of tuning that machine in to successfully remove the APUs without fudging the board up in this area, without it lifting, swelling. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it for myself, mate. I think. I don't think he wants it back. He is like that. He picks up, he buys and sells power tools. So he might pick up some empty power tool box, plastic carrying case, and then he'll sell it on, and he might get 25 quid for it. No, I don't think your profiles will work on my system, mate. Mine's a 3-element heated machine, so I've got the infrared top plate, infrared bottom plate, as well as lower heat element. Have I showed you my machine, mate? Let me show you. You'll have to excuse the shit. I'm up in Castleford, mate, of West Yorkshire. And nowhere near you, mate. A good 2-hour run. That's if you're talking to me, mate. Asking me where I am. So let me go to that. Excuse the mess. It's just been sat gathering dust, but that's mine, mate. That is mine. It has 3 elements of heating, and it's been sat just, well, you can see. Being sat. No, I don't want to give a rating. I want to shut you off this time, and I want to make sure you've quit, because you didn't quit yesterday and you ate my battery. Droid cam. Yeah, it's a good old run, mate, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's, you know, we are a great distance. It is a great distance between. But yeah, I'm thinking I might jump on a live stream and you know, attempt to set that up. kill a few boards, why not? Have a stream party about it. Yeah. So one day, don't know when, but one day I shall jump online and we'll attempt. I'll set up the camera so it can monitor. That's the other thing I need to do. I need to work out how to set up the camera and try and get it to monitor the board and whatnot. And hopefully, because I've been unable to find absolutely any help whatsoever setting that machine up, which is the Achi IR12000. I joined groups on Facebook. I've asked if anybody uses a similar machine. I've asked loads of questions and I absolutely get zero response. And it's possible that it's part of the spitefulness that why should somebody help another person that potentially may make a little bit of revenue from it. You know, but again, it's more like, well, it's to me it makes no difference. I'd help anybody I could, business, members of public. I've been talking to one for an Xbox One S, and he said yesterday that he thinks it's a board fault and he don't believe it's repairable. And how are you going to know unless somebody looks at it? You know, so I reminded him that my diagnosis is free, no fix, no fee. So, and it's not so much as no fix, you get a refund. Payment isn't never requested until a job is complete. So it's a no fix, no fee. But I've not heard from the young man today. May chase it up tomorrow and see what's what. And overall, I've just said, let me know if you're getting rid of it. Let me know if you decide to sell it. Or give me a shout, and I don't mind taking a look. You know. Yes, I work from home. Yes, there's a big trust issue in majority of people when one works from home, but it is what it is. It's certainly not going to damage me not, or it's certainly not going to hurt me not looking at it. You know, but he could take it elsewhere and it could cost him a fortune. But that one's a no power, so, and if it's a dead no power, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be either a PSU or a short on the 12 volt line, which is sending the PSU into protection mode. Short on the 12 volt line is generally a MOSFET. Yeah, I mean, he's got access. He's got access to the YouTube channel, mate. Because there's it is come through my Facebook business page. So, and there is links to my YouTube channel on my Facebook business page. Yeah, well, it basically is. What would a shop charge to change one MOSFET? You know, but well, it is what it is. Right, so that's me gonna jump off. Much appreciate you guys coming along, even though it turned out to be an hard drive. Bit of a what's the word? God, my head's gone. My head's gone today. I'm thinking of another word. But it's a bit of a letdown on the stream, on the content. Being an hard drive, what can we do? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, mate. A shop will probably charge a whole lot more than that, mate. Yeah. No problem, and welcome, Dreams. I didn't see you hiding in the background, mate, and I apologise if I missed your name on chat. But welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining. Staying tuned. Whatever. No problem, Mr. B. So yeah, that's going to be me done on this one. I'll pick an hard drive up for it tomorrow. I'll get that done. I'll pick an hard drive up over the next few days. I'll get that done. I'll throw the other one that I opened up back together, and we'll get it sorted. And hopefully, during the week, I can find something else broken for more content. Hopefully, we'll see how far I have to travel for my next item. F1, you've been watching F1, mate. How many watched while I'm on, just before I go? How many watched the fight at 4 o'clock this morning? Or 4:30? Or whatever time ring walk was? How many people, how many of us old blokes that might want to watch boxing, how many of us old blokes would stay up until 4 o'clock? I just got 2 boards for £26 each, dead, no power. £26 each? Mate, I basically paid £25 for 2 each. £25 each for 2 full consoles yesterday. Yeah, I'm not going to stay up either, mate. And not all. £26 for 2 boards. No, you're getting that confused, mate. That's not boxing, that's rugby. No, I don't do rugby. I don't do rugby. No. Although, similarities to you, Recorder. I watch you knocking balls around all over chips. And I do enjoy watching people knocking balls around a big table. That's about all sport I do. Don't forget about the girls. No, I won't. Did you watch the boxing, Jessica? Or was you not staying awake for it? I certainly won't. I know I'm an ugly twat, so I need my beauty sleep. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, I'm still highly surprised. Still highly surprised at 150, £175 for a console with cables. And I generally, when I sell mine, I usually throw in a brand new HDMI cable and a brand new power cable. So 9 times out of 10, the only things that I used on mine is the console and the controller. If I have controllers in stock, if I don't have them in stock, they get listed without. But the console still usually go with a brand new cable. Well, 2 brand new cables. And as I say, that's the 1S digital edition, 1 terabyte, was sold for 85 quid. No controller. Didn't really have to mess about with no leads on that one because my son bought it. So I buy no, mate. I buy no. Usually buy them from Farnell's, me. Cables. HDMI cables, the IEC C7, I believe they are. Which is the figure of 8. Don't often, you can't buy though, I shall say, you can't buy, from what research I've done, you cannot buy that cable in a 5 amp from anywhere. No. So they go with a 3 amp, which still has allowance because a Xbox One S is rated at 1.8 amp. So the 3 amp is still ample. But that's it for me, guys. I'm out. I'm now gonna throw this console back together that I stripped down, have a smoke, and then it'll soon be time for me to go that way in the room and jump on my bed. What a 3 amp? No, so yeah, which is weird because the PSU is 10 amp output. No, so the cables that come with a new console, when you buy them new from manufacturer, they're 5 amp, they're fitted with a 5 amp fuse, but for the sake of it, the sake of it, the hell of it, or whatever, whichever way you want to put it, I cannot find any distributor that will supply 5 amp figure of 8 radio lead, whichever way you want to call it, 3-pin plug, UK plug to IEC C7. But luckily the 1S has a current rating, a drawn current rating of 1.8 amps. So 3 amps is still ample to run it without the cables getting up. Obviously, if you used a 1 amp or what, I'm not sure if they do a 1 amp or whatever. Obviously the cables would draw too much current and they'd get at risk of fire, blah de blah de blah, all that jargon. New 3 amp is more than enough. Yeah, 3 amps plenty, mate. I generally I buy 3 amp I buy new 3 amp. I usually get them from Farnell, 1.5 meters in length, and they're what mine usually go with. But it's the 5 amp. When I've looked previously, and you can't seem to buy them. Cannot seem to buy them. Failing that, you buy a 3 amp. It'll still have the same cable rating, so you buy a 3 amp lead. You go out, you buy a 5 amp fuse, if you can find a 5 amp fuse. Generally, if they're not a regular need for them, they don't often sell them. Yeah, a little bit overkill, mate. I use it. Mine. I use a quick test, a test block, safety block, whichever way you want to call it. I think I'm almost sure I've seen Richard from Learn Electronic Repair use a quick test. Not sure where my quick test is plugged in. Probably won't reach to show, but I have one of these, mate. That's where my cable's plugged in. Came across a cable with a chopped off plug already, so just had one of these from well, my old man had one of them from his times of disco equipment manufacture, as he used to design and manufacture disco lighting, which none of you guys have probably ever heard of the company in mention, which one of them was Technotronics Limited, and then it changed to TTL Limited. But that's going back a fair few years, and generally that's where I first ever did any kind of soldering whatsoever. On the lighting boards. So he'd just got one of them lying about, come across a cable, and I utilised that. I've heard of both, but I used to be a DJ. Yeah, well, it didn't. It kind of went pear shape. I mean, it ran for years and years and years. They did. He manufactured a light. It was an Octilight or an octi something, and it had generally had 8 GU10s in it, that sort of thing. And he moved premises, and as I remember rightly, he was either shafted by the landlord or shafted by somebody. Which kind of froze all disco lighting manufacture. Yeah, I know, mate, I know. But again, that was a good few years back. But that's generally that's my history into learning soldering. That was where I first began learning soldering, and it's, you know, it's I kind of wish, at some stage, I would have continued on with the whole electronic repair learning process, or electronic with the circuit learning process and things like that. And I didn't. We all make decisions. It was more a need to live for me, and as it stands at the minute, I wouldn't change the decisions I made, but it would have been nice to have stuck to learning the trade, the skill, the art of electronics. Ooh, 1978 dreams. I was just a glint in my daddy's eye in the back end of 1980, mate. Oh, a shortwave radio. Nice. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to have continued, but no. Paths in lives change, and we immediately jump on one that is required to accomplish. And currently I found myself out of work due to health reasons. I could no longer do my job, so I now work part-time for a funeral director, and I do this in between. I'm going to be making a 400 LED super bright white light using through all 500mm clears. What's the reasoning? What's the reasoning for that? For making that, Mr. C? A dead-end job. A dead-end job, no. A job for life, yes. Yes, a job for life. And somebody has to do it, I suppose. Somebody has to go out and you know, the same level of respect as any other individual would on certain things. For a studio light, yes, that would be handy for a studio light, mate. Not sure if I have the right length of the right kind of lighting in here. I still find it to be a little bit dark, dull, dreary, but I know, mate. I know, you was joking. I know. You don't want to hear some of the things we say. You don't. It's not. No. We have a bit of a joke about it and stuff. It's not all doom and gloom. Right, guys, so I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna call it a day. For those of you that might not have got a notification, Nick is live on antisocial experience. So if you're jumping off of this stream and want another one to join, I'll be joining on there when I've ended the stream. Head over to antisocial experience. Not sure if I can quickly pinch a link and drop in a link. I will try. Yeah, I'm gonna. He's just popped up on my phone, mate. Notification. So, and I can't do anything else here. But my system's not gonna load up quick enough. So what I shall do is I shall jump on. Grab a link. Is there, view channel, share channel, copy link, go back to my channel, jump on my live and paste that link in there. So, any of you guys that's jumping off of mine now, if you want something else to have a quick squiz at, jump on that link there and join Nick Kennedy at Antisocial Experience. Right, guys, thanks for joining. As always, if you enjoyed the content or enjoyed me droning on, not that much will, please give a thumbs up on the video on your way out and subscribe if not already. We shall see you guys on the next one. Laters.